Hello everyone and welcome back. You asked for it, you're gonna get it. I made the weapon for the commander or for the character before I actually did the thing, and you can see that the program immediately crashed. So basically I had the handle finished before I started recording because I'm me, and when I worked on this you can see that it is crashing, and we're gonna check out why. So you can see I'm using the clothing tool at the ends, which basically just makes a plane on the end, or makes a face on the end of this. And as soon as I hover over it, it crashes, and we're gonna check out why. So first we're gonna reopen the project, yeah, and now we're gonna check out why. So we're gonna zoom in a bit. And now let's actually check out what the problem is before we fix it. So I found a fix and it's working, but yeah. You can see that there is an additional edge to the whole thing, and for some reason it is connected additionally whenever I try to close the top, which then when I want to tessellate this forces it to crash. So what I did is basically I cut out part of the whole thing and made an additional, basically I had to refit the whole thing here on the top and made an additional ending for the spiral that goes around the shaft. And this was basically all I had to do, but I had to figure out first what the problem was. So in case something like this happens to you, Hexagon tends to crash when it gets into computing error. So I don't know if I would guess that Maya and Blender does do the same, but I don't know. But yeah, this is something that I would guess just happens. Other than that, the rest of this project ran relatively smooth. As you can see, I've worked on a piece on the end, basically a blunt. I called it blunt. Because it's basically, the idea is that the weapon has a blade edge or blade end and the blunt end, which both can be utilized, but this is just too far into actually the details of the character to put at this point. Yeah, other than that, yeah, the main thing was actually the blade, and I'm not 100% happy with how the blade turned out. So I'm not sure. I may be revisiting this piece. I'm not sure. I had an idea of how I wanted it to look, of how I wanted it to be in the end, and I didn't come fully to that conclusion. So I may have to revisit this. So it's a pole arm. You may have seen a lot of pole arms. That is because I don't know, for some reason I prefer them as weapons, especially with characters, because I think because they are a really good mix of visual and actual weapons use. But yeah, I don't really know why. Yeah, so this is the base form that I wanted to give, and next up I wanted to just give this a bit more depth, a bit more detail, and you can see that there's already a bit of a mishap at the front, where some parts don't really align, where some parts don't really match. So this is the point where I think I have to revisit this and actually remake the blade. But I wanted to actually finish this partially or mostly because I want to do the second much simpler armor set before I do the monthly animation. So yeah, the animation is, at least in my plans, is going to support multiple multiple characters. We'll see about it. Yeah. What I wanted to make here is like some kind of scales or feathers that grow out or when come out of the model, and yeah, this didn't really work so it worked kind of as intended, but the whole blade, the whole part is very bulky, very thick. And then I tried to make the tip actually pointy, which also didn't completely work. Then I had to look which points to weld, and finally I got a pointy tip. But yeah, there's a lot of playing around here, a lot of just testing and seeing and checking out what works. And the whole thing in the end was really weird looking. And really the tip is just a little bit too big, so I think I have to revisit the whole thing. Yeah, the next part was actually trying to make the UV map, which is a whole chapter in itself. So my first attempt was to split the whole shaft in the middle, like on one line, and then try to adjust the UV map. And you can see that actually I'm not really making any headway. You can see that at some points that I will mark a part of the UV map and then check it out on the orthographic view on the other viewport where the model is, and you can see that I'm actually not really getting anywhere. So this would have taken a lot more time, especially since at one point the whole thing just crumbled. So you can see that I'm actually not really anywhere here. Yeah, I'm having like a fifth of the whole thing down, and the rest, the other 4/5, is basically yeah, merged together in this small piece in the end. So it's really not what I envisioned. So yeah, after going through that, I actually at some point decided, okay, no, I'm going to switch it up, but we're not yet there yet, and actually split up the whole thing into a lot of different small pieces, which worked quite well actually. So if you look at the render at the beginning, or if you look at the render at the end with the character, so last time we gonna see Lord Knight Helen for a bit. We are going to do another set, but this looks quite well, and you can see that. Yeah, you can see now that this is kind of weirded out, and what the UV also does sometimes is do weird merging thing with the points where it where it splits a single point into 3 for some reason, because it looks really weird. So my next attempt was to just like grab the faces and adjust them, but as you can see, this is the part where I just thought, okay, this isn't working because nothing's actually fitting. So I grabbed one single edge that curls around the whole spiral, cut it open, and you can see that I'm having a lot of smaller pieces which I can neatly fit into the form without any bigger problems. So my attempt was basically just to cut this open into really many pieces and put them neatly into the UV map in the end, which worked quite good. And this is basically the whole thing. That's it for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys around.